just a quick look at the project. I'll try to be as you know quick as I can because I know you're probably eager to start reskinning here. Um, but I want to give you an idea where a few key things are. So some of the main files I want to look at is IDs to replace. This is where the meat is. You're going to see some instructions in here, but I'm going to run down through them anyway. So you're going to see classic mode here and impossible mode. Classic mode is going to be like normal mode. So when you open the app and hit play, that's normal mode. Okay, default mode, whatever you want to call it. And then impossible mode, I've got it named hard mode and swoop ball, but it's a red button, and it's where the blocks or the obstructions move in and out, so it makes it a little harder. Now, it'd be kind of easy for me just to say replace your images, your graphics, your sounds, your share strings and all that, and you can, but you've got so much more you can do if you want to make it custom, and it's really not that difficult. It's set up. There's instructions here, to make things move quicker or slower, make it harder or easier. So here we go. Background speed. So how quick everything's moving. You can change this number. Classic mode of the ball. So this is when you click, you tap on each side. Swoop, swoop, swoop. It's how fast the ball is going to hit on an angle before you tap it to go the other way. So ball speed, I mean, pretty self-explanatory. This one right here, this is the obstruction, kind of the spacing. So you can mess with this number to push the boxes out farther or bring them in. So if you bring them in, it's going to be a lot harder. If you bring them out, it's going to be easier. Okay, and now this is some of the same settings. You can see I've changed them. Background speed of the impossible mode and the classic. So I mean, I've made it a little harder here. Uh, it's a good balance. I mean, you got to have the ball moving quick enough to where you can go back and forth and make it through the balls or the bricks. But I've also moved the background speed up so you can get to those bricks because they open and shut. So you can mess with that. This one right here, pretty cool. It defines how quick the boxes, the bricks, obstructions move in and out. So you can see there's two different numbers. One's going to be in, one's going to be out. So I've got them going out, going in quicker, and then coming back not as quick. I can't remember which, like stage one, if it's in or out, but you understand what I'm saying. Okay, this is pretty cool layout change. So let's say you're just playing the game and you lose 3 times, but you're like, wow, I think I got the hang of this. It's pretty good. Well, then the fourth time that you'd hit play or restart, now all of a sudden everything's upside down. So instead of going from the bottom up and swooping back and forth through the boxes, you're now at the top going down. So it changes it up, it makes it hard, and when you combine that with all the controls you have here, over the game logic, it's pretty cool. So I've got them set at 3 and 3. So 3 for the normal mode, 3 for impossible. You can tweak those if you want, but I just kept it simple. So just one in-app purchase, non-consumable, remove ads. I like to make my IDs like that. No one else does that. I never understood why make it difficult. Anyway, by the time you get it, this will be gone. This was a way to consolidate your ads, and I just like the old way of doing it. So I've got it set up with Chartboost and AppLovin separately. So this will be gone. No longer this in here. It's just I forgot to take this out. So then just put your AdMob banner ID. It's a bottom banner. You can put in your Google Analytics ID. I didn't do it for this app. Kind of like Flurry. I'm not sure if it has as much customization. I just usually do it to track, users and active and total. But anyway, you'll find out how to do that. You can Google it, but it's in the same area that you're gonna be to set this up. And then make sure you can find this on your dashboard. Make sure you put the app ID. You could just call it the app ID instead of artist ID. I guess I could. Um, anyway, just change those. They're both the same. Okay, and then set up your two leaderboards. There's two. There's one for normal. There's one for hard. Okay, and then your share strings. So real quick, just change the names, change what you want it to say for Facebook. Right here, these are the same for both, by the way. You could just obviously change it, saying something different about impossible or hard mode. But what I've got set up here, the links are going to be the same, is what I mean. So this is my iTunes app link. I just use GeoRide to shorten it up, and then this is going to grab the icon from your iTunes Connect portal, dashboard, or whatever. So you just go, you scroll down to where your icon is showed, and then you click, and you open up in a new window, grab the URL, put it in here. Okay. So that's that. See if I can keep moving here pretty quick. Okay. So you're also going to see, I'll throw something in at the end of this one, just on kind of where all the stuff is in the folder. But basically, you have your sound files and your images. I like to manually go in the project folder, like on my desktop, and replace all this stuff. I don't like to do it here. The only time I like to drag them in here is if I make a change and it doesn't take. So once it's in the folder, I will a lot of times then drag it into here, and it'll be fine then. So real quick, I want to get into the storyboards. Just so if you don't have any experience with this, I'm definitely not an expert, but after going through this game, I have a little more understanding on how to customize this. So you've got two, you got your main, you got your iPad. I can see this was changed from when I was doing a different video, but it should be like this. Anyway, so come in here, you can change the name, you can hit delete, get rid of one. You can come in here, change the color of this, change the size, change your buttons. You might want to fast forward if you know how to do all this. I don't think there's really much left for you if you have experience in customizing your storyboard. But if you don't, stick around. So let's say you want to replace, put your name in there. Okay, let's say instead of this, you want to put your your name, and then you want to put a little bit of a logo. So if you come over here, you can drag like an image in here. You click on here, and then you'll see some options. Now, if you don't see your image here, just make sure you drag it into the main project folder. So make sure you see this in the same. I mean, it's the same file that you see all this stuff. I mean, not the ball, but your project folder. Anyway, so say you wanted to put this here. Now, looks a little weird. I mean, sure, you can come in here and manually do it, or this scale to fit, the view. You do that. You have fill, scale to fit, whatever you want to do. You don't have to use that either. You also come in here and customize your menu. You want to move this stuff around, go ahead, put it where you want. You can also change the colors. So I know this is simple, but if I'm clicking on an orange button, I'm just going to scroll until I see orange. come in here and you can change it. Okay, you can also put in a custom. Let's say you have your own menu buttons like I did, and like this one. And instead of using this, you have a custom PNG, that you want to insert. So get rid of rate, come over here, again, look for the orange. Now it's white. Okay, so now this is still selected. So you can see your files here. If you also want to just come in, you want it for background. Obviously, it's not a play button, but now you'd have that. So the buttons are still going to be programmed to do what they need to do. You can just change the way they look. You can do it like this. You can drag them from over here. However you want to do it. There's also 2 game over screens. You can leave it like this. You can change it. One's for impossible, one's for normal mode. Again, you can move these all around. You can change the font. It's kind of like using, Word or PowerPoint. Once you get in here and you see that you can change quite a bit of stuff, size. And this is the tutorial screen. Now it should pull all your images and have them all lined up. Again, you can move them around if you want, but you are going to probably want to change the text here. Probably not that one, but this wouldn't be here because this is going to be your manual, button, whatever you have that shows up when the app's about to start. But you're probably going to want to, change, at least like this, swoop in between. So iPad's the same way, just a little bigger. Change all the spacing. Now, I do want to recommend that if you've never done this and you have everything else changed over here and you spend all the time and it's all great, I would recommend that you back up your project, just by compressing it, put it in another folder, just duplicating it, uploading it to Dropbox, something, because first time I came in here and started messing in the storyboard, messing around and dragging stuff, I screwed, a lot of things up. And I had to rebuild the project, and you could also just back up these 2 files, if you wanted to. But if you don't even want to do that or know how to do that, just back up the entire project. So I think that's about it. I am going to go into the project folder here in a second and show you how to do a few things in there. But overall, thanks a lot. Good luck. And if you have an issue, give us an email or shoot us an email. But if you don't have any experience at all, I mean, we're not your developers. You might have to hire a developer to help you. That's what I had to do when I was starting out, just so you know what you're doing. I mean, if you're getting basic errors, I mean, we can't literally, build the app for you and customize it. But most of you guys at this point, if you're buying something like this, you understand how to do the basics, at least. Thanks. To mention was the sounds, the sound effects, the music. I know this is just basic stuff, but how to replace them. Make sure you replace them. So here's the sound effects. Here's the soundtrack. The whole thing. So if you just get your sounds over on in another folder on your desktop, and come in, copy the name, paste it, and then when you come in here, if it already exists, what do you want to do? Yeah, I want to replace it because this is going to take your sound and replace it with my sound, but it's going to keep the name the same, so you don't have to change that in the code. So now it's there, and it's all good. So that's what the sounds. I know it's probably common sense, but I just want to make sure And if you change all this and it's not working in your project, then come over here, go into the assets file, and you can see they're all here, but you can also then drag them directly in here. Okay, but mine are fine. But let's say one of those was red, you know, the name was there, but it didn't know where the file was, even though, I mean, you could always, restart your computer or quit Xcode or, clean your build or something, but just drag it in here. And then you would hit finish. So that's it. Thanks. Quick look, kind of behind the scenes in the folder, what you're going to see. Click on this, this is where all the action is. Obviously, you click this to open Xcode with the project. But this is what I was talking about earlier. If you want to do some custom buttons, there you see my play one. This is honestly all you'd have to do. Create them, Photoshop, however you're going to do it, save it as a PNG, drag it into here, and you're going to see this will all end up showing up, where I was showing you in Xcode to be able to, and for the button size, just give you an idea. Let's see what I have in here. 350, oh, I can't even get it. 350, 124, give you an idea. And then if you want to change these, it's 305, 305. But anyway, go in here. This is where you're going to see your icon files. Change those. Pretty simple. Just two sizes of your balls. Bricks. I mean, you could make this anything. You can any obstruction. Get creative. Your launch image. Okay. I think that's all I wanted to really show you. Do make sure you change these. This is what shows up in the tutorial, and it's also, see, it's got a transparent background. Okay. And also, it's going to show up when you first start the game. So you can see upside down, it's, when you're going up to down, and then this is, the first one they're going to see when they start the game, right here. So you can see mine are pretty simple. You can do whatever you want with this, but just make sure you replace them so it makes sense for your game. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, if you were just to try to find your normal storyboard, it's in here. If you're not in Xcode, iPad, normal. Don't worry about this. See, only other thing I wanted to show you, and I forgot to do it in Xcode. I can do it right here. So just search for admanager.m. Bring it up. Scroll down a little bit. See this 4? That's how many times you have to lose or die before an ad shows up. So there are placements when you launch the game, and every time you die 4 times, in this game's case, change it to whatever you want, and both SDKs are on at the same time. So what I do is I toggle off one for a while and then I switch them up. So I don't run 2 ads. I don't do a double pop. It's easier to have them set up like that and then control from the dashboard than have to go into the code. Plus, when you already have your version in the store, I mean, what are you going to upload a version and wait 7 to 10 days just to change, what ad you want to show? It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Anyway, that's it. Good luck. Thanks.